Your work is to create the new heaven and the new earth. Therefore, do not invest your time on the troubles of the past. Do not allow yourself to become part of the disease and not the cure. As you raise your consciousness, you become immunized against the troubles of the world. And you can live and work with it all about you, and yet it will not be able to touch or affect you in any way. A doctor or nurse has to be immunized to be able to work freely with highly infectious diseases, and there must be no fear in them. Let there be no fear in you. Never despair. Simply hold on in faith. Let your mind be focused on the divine and know that all is very, very well. So again and again, this book is trying to tell us lessons of faith and transformation. And what this book is saying is absolutely right. I can say it from my own personal experience. As your consciousness grows, you become stronger and stronger, with more energy and immunity. To the diseases of the world, the temptations of the world. Because when you keep walking on the path, you come closer and closer to the knowledge that you are full, you are complete. If you are full, if you are complete, then there is no need to fear of any loss. If you take away one glass of water from the ocean, nothing happens to the ocean. Same way, when you are closer and closer to yourself, you become clear, you become sure, you become powerful, and you become immune. Now we have to understand the concept of immunity in spiritual terms. Immunity means the ways of the world, the actions of the world, do not drain your physical or mental energy. The world in which you live doesn't infect you anymore. Not because you have some protection mechanism, not because you have some external defense, but because you are strong from within. External protection mechanism can fall, can be broken. But internal strength cannot be taken away. I'm saying it again. External protection mechanism can be broken, but internal strength cannot be taken away. In the Bible, Christ says, "Give the man a fish and he will eat for a day." Teach a man to fish and he can eat for a lifetime. Real power, real empowerment makes you strong from within. And nobody has the power to take that strength away. Because it is yours. Because you have claimed it. And that is the importance of sadhana. Practice, practice and practice. We practice not because that's what we are supposed to do. We practice because what we know is only theoretical. Just because you have recipe of a dish doesn't mean your hunger goes away. Just because you have a recipe of a certain cooking dish doesn't mean your hunger is satisfied. Once you have the recipe, you have to cook that recipe. When you cook that recipe, you have to eat that dish. When you eat it, your hunger goes away. Just buying a cooking book will not make you satisfied. And that is something very, very important for spiritual people of today's day and age should understand. Because information is very easily available in the world. And that information can be confused as experience. You can read 10 spiritual books and feel wise. You can read 10 spiritual books and convince yourself that you are a yogi. But convincing yourself doesn't mean experiencing. You can convince yourself on a fancy dress competition. Some people become monkey. They act like a monkey. But deep within they know they are not monkey, they are humans. But they spend a lot of money, they spend a lot of time and effort to look like a monkey, convincingly look like a monkey. And I am saying this again, and I am saying this again and again, and I will say it. Reading books will just motivate you. Read books just for inspiration. Books will not give you experience. You have to actually do it. If you want to lose weight and you join a gym for 1 year and you sit at home, you will not lose weight. You have to join the gym and then you have to go there and exercise and spend calories and sweat it out and go through the pain, and then when you lose the weight, you are really happy. So the immunity that we are talking about is based out of experience and not knowledge. The immunity that we are talking about comes from within you. The others do not give it to you. Cannot. You may have the best of the Guru, but the Guru will not do anything to you, for you. There have been so many cases in which the students had the best of the Guru, but the student just remained there. It happened in case of my own Guru. There was a woman who used to take care of him. I imagine there can be no bigger joy for a devotee than to take care of the Guru. And in that taking care of the Guru, in that surrender, in that assistant, in that company, a lot of things are sorted out. Imagine somebody wants to become a singer. And then Mariah Carey says, "Hey, you become my assistant for 2 years." It's a big opportunity. Why? To learn the tricks of trade, to learn what happens, how is it, how does she deal with this. And in that company, in that companionship, in those experiences, you become wiser and wiser and wiser. But in spiritual context, there have been times where you are in the company of the greatest of masters, but you don't absorb all the experiences that are happening in front of you. The Guru cannot do anything. Neither the God will do anything. When I say Guru, it also means God. No Messiah will save you unless you are ready to be saved. So the immunity that we have is the immunity of experience. That's why in India, people who know a lot about spirituality are called Pandits. Pandit means an expert, a scholar. But a Pandit may not be a Jnani. Jnani means wise man. Sometimes in Indian universities, when you complete your PhD in Sanskrit or history or music, they will give you confer upon you a title, Pandit. So if I pass exam of Sanskrit, I do a PhD, then automatically I get a degree called Pandit. So my name will be Pandit Prasad. But Pandit doesn't mean a Jnani. Pandit knows, a Jnani experiences. Pandit knows. Pandit will tell you exactly the steps of Samadhi. In this step this happens, in this step this happens, in this step this happens. But then you ask a Pandit, how much of these steps have you experienced? Pandit will say, none yet. That's why it is very, very rare when you have a Jnani and Pandit together. But such gurus are usually disinterested in, not in the word, but in sharing the knowledge. Like Ramana Maharishi. He was both Pandit and Jnani. He was a school dropout. He was a school dropout. He ran away when he was 14 from his school to go and live in solitude. But in his later ages, scholars used to come to him with scriptures and ask him, what is the scripture exactly trying to say here? And without reading, Ramana Maharshi would explain it. He will not say, oh, let me read, come tomorrow, I will try to figure it out and tell you. Why? Because scriptures are expressing the truth, the same truth that Ramana Maharishi has experienced. So he doesn't have to read it. He knows. Sometimes he would correct. There the scripture is a little not correct there. Imagine. Or he would say that author's commentary could be a little simpler. Then the scholar will ask, but have you read it? No need. I have not read it, but I have experienced it. Now what is greater? And Krishna also talks about this. Krishna also talks about this in Bhagavad Gita. That the knowledge is greater than information. Experience is greater than knowledge. Stay away from this in spiritual circles. Have you read this book? Have you read this book? And it's very easy to convince yourself after reading 5 books that you know. It's very easy. You read 5 books of yoga, you feel like you're a yogi. You really. And it happens a lot in yoga scene because people are impatient. For example, I have so many students who get very upset about themselves that they still have limited emotions. Like, for example, they'll say, Prasad, last night I went to a party and I saw this girl and I was so jealous of her. I hate myself. I say, why? I shouldn't be jealous. I'm a yoga teacher. I say, yes, but you became yoga teacher 2 years ago. Jealousy is with you for last 30 years. Then immediately, but look at Yogananda. Look at Yogananda. Tomorrow you say, look at Jesus Christ, He's not jealous, and look at me, I'm jealous. What are you comparing yourself with? That is because you have read 5 books of Yogananda. All you have in your head is Yogananda. Reading Yogananda's book will not make you Yogananda. You don't see Yogananda's hard work. Reading the Bible will not make you Christ. You see, people are only interested in talking about miracles of Christ. Nobody talks about Christ's hard work. Nobody talks about that none of his 12 disciples that he cultivated for 3.5 years was there next to him when he was going up on the cross. Nobody talks about that. People are more attracted to, and then he came out of his tomb, floating in the air. People are interested in miracles. People are not interested in hard work. So it's very easy to convince you. Read 4 books of Paulo Coelho and you feel like, oh, I'm going to write a novel now. And when we get into this mode, we get into this habit of wanting to prove to the world how much I know. Understand this. When you really don't know, you have to work hard on convincing people how much you know. When you really know, and you know that you really know, you don't have to work hard on convincing me that you know. So if your effort is a lot on convincing people that you know so much, that means you really don't know much. It's your need. Somewhere, it's your need of acceptance from others, of getting respect from others. That's why a Jnani like Ramana Maharshi is happy sitting under a mountain. And then what happens? The world comes to him. The world comes to him. He doesn't go anywhere. That little boy at 14, age of 14, ran away from his house, sat under a mountain. He died there. Got enlightened. So his running away from home was worth it. But there was not even a desire to spread what he had understood. Like my own master, Maharaj, never taught anything. Never taught anything. Such people will just sit and miracles will happen around them. And those miracles are the right thing to happen. They create it, but they create it with such strength, inner strength, that it just happens. And if you don't come under the swing of their miracles, it's not your time yet. You see, no Ramana Maharishi. No, imagine you run away from your house and come to Rishikesh under this mountain. You get self-enlightened and you just sit, eat whatever people give you, have 2-3 people who take care of you, that's it. And then within 10 years, people are coming from everywhere to just see you. Not even listen to you, because he hardly spoke. He never said, "Why are you coming to see me?" I said, okay. He was a funny man in one sense, because he would be in the kitchen preparing food for the people who would be coming to see him. He will wake up in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and prepare food for 100, 200 people, for whom? For those people who are going to come to see him. There was no desire to teach. Because he realized that all he can give was information. That's why real gurus will always insist on sadhana. They will show you some miracles here and there, but those miracles are not enlightening experiences. Those miracles are inspiration or motivational experiences. Look, in our religion also, the holy books, instead of practicing what is written in holy books, we keep the holy books in the altar and we don't open them. It's a classic case in India. People take Bhagavad Gita, wrap it in nice silk cloth, expensive, and keep it in the temple at home. Hey, don't touch it. Go have a shower first and then touch it. Did you brush your mouth? Only then open it. Don't touch your Gita with dirty hands. That's why one saint in my state, Maharashtra, he said, instead of reading Bhagavad Gita, instead of reading 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, practice one. Instead of reading 700 verses, lines. Practice one. That one practice of one verse is enough. So you have 700 verses to choose from. Practice anyone. Take any random line and practice it. That's it. And then close the Bhagavad Gita. One line per lifetime. Like in mantra yoga. There is a type of yoga called mantra yoga. You go to the Guru will give you a mantra. That is the end of your sadhana. You go to the Guru, say, Guru, Master, Guru, give me mantra. Guru says, okay, Om Namah Shivaya. And then you're waiting. And what else should I do? That's it. That's it. Asanas? No, just Om Namah Shivaya. Pranayama? No, just Om Namah Shivaya. Headstand? Om Namah Shivaya. How many times a day? Continuously. How many years? Whole lifetime. That's it. That's your sadhana. Nothing else the Guru gives you. Om Namah Shivaya also, if the Guru is very generous. Usually they will just give Om. Say, that's it? Yeah, what's my sadhana? Chant Om the whole day. How many months? Well, no months. Whole life. Whichever works first. Om takes you to enlightenment or life takes you to death. If with the Om you reach enlightenment, then stop chanting Om. If the Om doesn't take you to enlightenment, if you die, then die. The Guru will give you only one mantra, not because the Guru doesn't know anything else. Understand this from the Guru's point of view. The Guru will give you only one mantra because he knows that one mantra is all that you need to realize yourself. That's it. One mantra is all that you need. All sadhanas will fade away. Gone. They will drop. And that's why I told you the other day that the higher realms of spirituality or the advancement of spirituality gets simpler and simpler and simpler. It goes basic. If you go to a Guru, you ask him, what should I do to be on a spiritual path? So he'll say, love. Tell me something more. Have faith. Tell me something more. What should I do in the morning, in the evening? Take the name of God. No, something more. Live in surrender. It gets very simple. So advancement in spirituality is simplicity. What should I do? Don't just sit quietly. Imagine if your Guru gives you sadhana like this. Guru, I'm all ready now. I'm done with my job. I'm done with my family. I'm clear of all my responsibilities. I've come to you completely. I'm offering my surrender. What should I do? And just sit there. What? I left my family. I closed down my business. What should I do? And just sit. Just sit quietly in the corner. Ultimately, that's the truth, no? Just sitting quietly in the corner will give you the greatest of experience. So what Guru is saying is not wrong. Sit quietly in the corner. Guru is actually simplifying the word meditation for you. What should I do? Just sit there quietly. For how many hours? Whole life. What hours? Perhaps lifetimes. Next life you come, I will be here. Again, new corner will be ready for you. It happens, It happens. I personally know people who are dead, they are born again and they continue the same, say under same guru, same monastery, same sadhana. Happens a lot in this Tibetan monastery. Monk dies, reincarnates in the same village, grows up, when he's 3 or 4, comes back to the same monastery, sadhana starts. There's so much, the mind is so much in that groove, no? Even when the body dies, immediate incarnation, immediate, boom, immediate. And where, not some America, when he's 30, he goes out to explore himself, that also happens. But born in the immediate next village or here and there. And such children, you might find it surprising. They have prior knowledge. So they are like 4 or 5 years old and they will one day tell their father, "Father, I am actually a monk from that monastery. Just please drop me back there." Imagine your 5-year-old son saying something like this. "Dad, I want to tell you something." Imagine you are living in somewhere in Europe and you have a nice child and the child says, and when his child is 5 years old, the child says, "Dad, I am actually a monk in a monastery in Venice. So please, take me there on this date and meet this father. I will show him the signs who I am. Just drop me there." Imagine if your child says like that, what will you do? It has happened in many cases. And you take the child to Venice, to that monastery, he will he will show you, "This was my chair, this was my room. Come there, I will show you, I planted this tree." He is the father. And he'll say, "Father, I am this monk from, this batch." Then the father will recognize, okay. So then they have tests. So which was your closet? He said there. What was your regular habit? I used to tweak. I used to twitch. Correct. What was your favorite, which was your favorite gospel? Gospel of Matthew. Correct, okay. Confirmed test. Drop your son, go, bye-bye. Simple.
But you're saying that it's common in Tibet?
Very common. But all this happens at a higher level of spiritual evolution. Otherwise you will not know who you are and what. But at our level, we have to focus on experience, not on knowledge. You read books. Actually, I am telling you, once you get into the habit of experiencing things, all books sound the same. It is boring to read books. Because they all say the same thing. Same. Same as in literally same theme, same story, same words, same context. And across the board. You take up this line from Bible, you take this line from Gita, they are saying exactly the same. Same. Context is the same, expression is the same, and end point is also the same. And that's why I insist about the affirmations, about meditations, about your sadhana. Now in our setup, it is all happening. It's beautiful. That's why you're here for. Take advantage of it. But when you go back, the world will swallow. When you go back, right now you are here with single-minded folks. You're like monks now for the next 1 month. Nothing else to do in life except this. But when you go back home, the other priorities will come. That time, you will need to choose. That time you will need to prioritize. I have only 1 hour with me. What will I do? Should I read a book or should I do my sadhana? I would suggest sadhana. Reading a book or collecting books, I also did that. Order books. Because ordering books gives you the joy. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I used to order some scripture translations which I would never even read, just to feel good. Wow, I have this book. And now when I look in my cupboard, I have not even opened this. I'm like, oh, I have this? Wow. Nice. Back. And that's why I recommend, if you want to read something, read Life of Saints instead of some terse commentary on some philosophy. Read Life of Saints or Life of Inspirational People. That is really motivational. For example, if you want to get introduced to Bible, I would suggest read Life of Christ first. Understand what was his life, where was he, who was he dealing with. For example, people find the language in Bible very crass, very raw, very basic, not fine, not polite. Of course, Christ was talking to lay people. Who was Christ talking to? Christ was not talking to Roman aristocracy. Christ was talking to fishermen, butcher, slave woman. His language will be that, no? And that's why the language in Bible is very basic. Examples are very basic. Analogies are very simple, practical, day to day. Because Christ was dealing with everyday people, not some scholars. He has spoken to scholars. When he used to visit the temples there, the priests there used to ask him scholarly questions, and to them he has given scholarly answers. So it's not that he did not know, so my target group is only villagers because I don't know the scriptures. Not like this. When the need was, he would talk about scriptures. But his main focus was the masses, and masses were all illiterate, uneducated people. So he had to speak in their language. So the immunity, the resilience, the power will come from experience, not from information. And I am telling you myself, in this course, all that I am giving you is information. Experiences will come to you if you practice. I am giving you information. Understand the process. I am giving you information. You understanding it becomes your knowledge. You practicing it brings you experience or wisdom. I give you information, you understand and becomes knowledge. You practice through that knowledge, you experience it, and what you experience becomes your wisdom. I can't give you wisdom. Nobody can give you wisdom. The jnana comes from within. Vidya, knowledge is given, but jnana comes from within. Realize that information is dry, knowledge is full. And this experience of wisdom comes through reflection, comes through prayer, comes through practice, comes through crying, comes through feeling frustrated, comes through feeling miserable, comes through reflection. All this is a part of the game of spiritual sadhana. When a bhakta, a devotee, cries because he misses his Lord, it's a part of the practice. It's like you do asanas for 1 hour, a bhakti yogi will cry for 1 hour. It's the practice. There's nothing wrong. After 1 hour of asanas, how do you feel? All opened up. After crying for 1 hour, a bhakti yogi will feel all opened up. It's exactly the same internally in the subtle body. Same changes have happened. Same changes. If you ask somebody who does japa yoga, have you experienced all those empowerments, siddhis that are written in yoga books? He will say yes. He will say yes. You will be surprised. Just by chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, you will get exactly the same experiences as you would by practicing asana and pranayama. Methods are different, experiences are the same. Don't get confused by the methods. Because there will always be many methods to reach the same place. It's a word of duality. If I show you how to go downstairs, Tom can show you how to go downstairs in another way. I will say, take the stairs. Karo will say, jump from this window. Tom will say, jump from this window. Fritza will say, jump from that gallery. Everybody is right. And this is what happens in modern yoga. Then if you don't want to practice one technique completely, you get lost in the other techniques. Understand this? Because I don't want to fully commit to one technique, I look here and there. So me investing my energy in 10 different methods is because I am not strong enough to commit to one. Like relationships now. When people are single, they are flirting with everybody. When finally there is some commitment, then now no more flirting. Not even looking here and there. How much ever temptation it is, no. Why? Because you are committed. Exactly the same. You're committed to yoga now. It's commitment now. Yoga is your husband. So why are you looking here and there? Look here and there. No problem. But don't engage in that too much. Your husband is not saying don't be friends with others. Your husband is just saying be only friends. Don't bring them home. Really, it's a commitment. Your dedication to God is a commitment. When you're married to God, in the sense when you're fully committed to your spiritual path, or God, or Krishna, or Shiva, whoever it is, then your disinterest in others is not because you are not interested in others. Your disinterest in others is because you are fully committed to one. Understand that. It's a matter of trust. If a woman is fully committed to a man, and one day they both are going out, and she sees a very good-looking man, and she'll say, "Wow, look at that man, he's so handsome." And if there is a deep faith in between the man and the man will also say, "Yeah, he's really handsome, he's very nice, wow, such a nice man." Then that's it. If they both appreciate the beauty of the man, nothing more to it. But if the trust between that husband and wife is not there, when the wife says, "Look at that handsome man," immediately the husband goes, "You don't love me anymore?" Hey, what happened? I am just appreciating the beauty of that man. What's wrong in that? That man is really beautiful. Me appreciating the beauty of that man, why does it affect this relationship? Exactly same works with yoga. If you are committed to your path, that's it. That path brings you joy. Then if you move away from others, not because they are bad, because they doesn't interest you anymore. What's wrong with that? If I am not a smoker and I go to a party where everybody is smoking, how does it matter? You want to smoke, you go ahead smoke, but I don't smoke. I am fully committed to non-smoking. So if 10 people are smoking around me, doesn't affect me at all. The smoke may be. But I don't feel tempted, neither do I feel obligated. No. In fact, if there is somebody gives me free cigarette packet as a part of promotion, I don't even take it. Isn't it? If you are not a smoker, somebody gives you free cigarette packet, why will you take it? You will say, "Give to other smoker, please." Because it is your commitment. But if that commitment is not there, which Christ or others would say faith, Patanjali would say Ishwar Pranidhan, then everything else looks attractive. Maybe that also. Then you are lost in the different techniques. Then you are just swimming on the surface. There is joy of swimming on the surface, but that finding pearls will not happen. Swimming on the ocean surface gives you tremendous joy, but don't expect pearls. If you want pearls, hold your breath, surrender to the depths, and bring the pearls out. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, just swim and enjoy the swimming. Then don't cry that you don't have pearls with you. It's either this or that. That way, spiritual path is very, very objective. It's black and white. There's no grey there. It's either this or that. So realize the power of what we are doing and realize your responsibility in it. Become accountable to yourself. Do not be obligated to anyone else. Have faith in your path. And I always say this, that the problem with modern spirituality is not lack of techniques, but lack of trust in one single technique. I'm saying it again. The issue with modern spirituality is not that there are lack of techniques, that there are less techniques to try, but we have somewhere lost the courage to commit totally to one single path. I have a friend like this. He will keep calling me to different satsangs from different masters, gurus. And he tries to convince me. He sends me a YouTube video, he sends me an article, he sends me a photo, he sends me a pamphlet. I say nice, and I don't know. And then he started pushing it, like, hey, come, I bought a ticket for you, let's go. Then I told him, look, I don't go to such place. Why? I said, I have a guru and that's it. No, but there's nothing wrong to attend and to know more. And I told him one day that I'm not even interested in knowing anymore. And it's honestly I said this. Nothing, if I don't go to somebody's satsang, some enlightened person's satsang, not because he is not good enough, who am I to say? But I have no more desire to know what he is going to say. Why? Not because he is bad, but because I know what my guru is giving me through his own ways is enough for me. If that makes me rude, so be it. But I see that as my commitment to my guru. How much will you go here and there? How much will you roam about? Pindakak it's called. In India, in Sanskrit it's called Pindakak. Pindakak means, you know what? These crows, no? In ancient India, even now, they used to keep food in front of the house for the crow. So in a village, in front of many houses, they will keep some rice or some dal or some chapati. So the crow, I don't know if you've seen, the crow will come in this house, eat little rice from here, then fly to the next house, eat chapati from there, fly to the next house, eat vegetable from there, come back to this house, eat chapati from here. A crow is so restless, he will not sit in one place and finish the whole thing that house is given and fly away. Purposely they keep going there and there. Pinda kak. Kak means crow. Pinda means whatever little food that they are giving. Commitment. Realize that you are committed. If you don't feel committed, do something to feel committed. I don't know what else you can do. But once you're committed, you're committed. Then your practicality is based out of your spirituality. Not the other way, huh? It just changes the whole thing. You start off by including spirituality in your practical life. And a time comes when it turns over and you realize that, I have to find practicality in my spiritual life. It is so beautiful. Because everything becomes spiritual then. You don't have to sit and do sadhana for 1 hour and feel spiritual. 24 hours it becomes spiritual. You're fighting with somebody, that's also spiritual. Really. You're sitting alone, you don't feel time wasting. You're doing your japa. Spiritual. You're traveling in a car 1 hour doing nothing, japa is there. You don't feel you're wasting time. You're trying to deal with your mother, difficult mother. You don't feel, she's taking away my time from my spirituality. No. When you're dealing with your difficult mother, what do you say? She is God in disguise, trying to teach me a lesson. Welcome, Mom. What do you have to say? 1 year ago, You thought your mother is a hindrance on your path. Today you look at her as an experience giver. Such a beautiful change of perspective. So you give chance to spirituality in your practical life, and a time will come when your life will become spiritual and you'll have to find practicality in spiritual. I guarantee.